So I'm going to start just by banishing any feelings of terror that you might have and just explaining how welcoming the life music space can be. So some you shake, some you bash. I'm Rob Paton. I'm a retired musician, academic. Get a more resonant sound. So that's the first thing. We're all musical. And in the life music philosophy, everybody is musical. And it's something that I absolutely believe. If you're born human, you're born a musician. Throughout my life, people have come up to me and said, I'm not musical. I can't make music, I can't sing in tune, I can't keep a beat, and so on. And I don't believe that. I think everybody's musical. So it's almost like a kind of mission to demonstrate to people that actually they are, that everybody is musical and they can do it. Not just musical and able to respond, but able to create and make music. Billy-do-dap, billy-do-dap. So we set up a company which we've called Artbeat Brecon. Billy-do-dap, billy-do-dap, do-dap-do-da. Billy-do-dap, billy-do-dap. These taster sessions are a way of demonstrating one of the things that we hope Artbeat Brecon might be able to offer the community. There are no wrong notes. So whatever you play today, whatever you sing or whatever you play, and whatever rhythms you play or notes you play, it's all welcome. It's all part of a tapestry of music that we build up. It's a kind of therapeutic music making. It's not music therapy, it's not registered as a music therapy, but it's a well-tested, well-evidenced method, which I've been doing for about 30 years in communities. And every sound that each of you plays individually will be blended in with everything else and will be completely welcomed. There is no judgment around that whatsoever. Music it teaches people how to feel. It engenders in people empathy. And I mean, it's a cliche, music is the food of love, but it helps people communicate in a very empathic way with each other. And I just think that is one of the primary functions. And if people are actually making music themselves, they're getting a much bigger dose of that medicine than if they're just consuming it through digital media or whatever. And I think that's what this project ultimately is about. And I'm thinking of lots of different ways in which, hopefully, if the project gets off the ground over the next year or so, lots of different ways in which we can make that happen. I think I bring the life music method into all sorts of different spheres.
So the live music method has applications to the work I do in care homes. Because it's liberating, because it's freeing, because it's encouraging, and there are no wrong notes, and once people are getting used to the method, it's joyful. It's just being together, it's making music together, it's singing together, and it's freeing, absolutely freeing from what we're used to. It works brilliantly, and people relax, and people have joy, and people are not so afraid anymore to sing up, to speak up, to hum along, whatever. So it's encouraging.
Yeah, I'm a performing musician, but I also work in lots of community contexts, in care homes and schools and this sort of thing. I'm here basically just to try and get a bit of inspiration for my own practice, to take away some new techniques, some new ways of improvising and making music with different people, really. For me, improvisation brings a real awareness to the moment, to the present, and especially if you're improvising with or for other people, It brings a real sense of connection there. You have to be so aware of what everyone else is doing, and I find it's a much more exciting space to make music in whatever way you're doing it. Just that awareness and that energy and that connection just makes the musicking so much more exciting.
I play a lot of classical music, and it's always very structured, and you're scared of making a mistake because there's somebody who'll know. With improvisation, there aren't any mistakes. You can't make a mistake. You can just try and convey something of what you're feeling with the people in the room.
When people improvise, they are doing something very special. They are exploring an unknown space between them and somebody else. Lo, lay, lo, lo, lay, la, lo, lo, lay, lo, lo, lay, la, lo, lo, lay, la, lo, lay, la, lo. So that's what we're doing all the time in relationships. So music really does build good relationships. The way of celebrating what it is to be together, that's another great function of music. It celebrates that sense of community. And also a very small thing, but people have a lot of fun at the same time. And if you're not having fun doing music as well, you're doing something wrong.
I'm not musical at all, so I'm finding it quite challenging actually, to sort of let myself get involved with it. But it's been very enjoyable anyway, so that's why I'm here. Yeah, exactly.
For me, it's like a conversation with people, but not using words. It's using the sounds and the instruments or whatever we've got to hand. And I think it's a good way of a dialogue that you can have with anybody. You can have it with people without a common language. Because music, of course, is a common language, but then different types of music, classical, jazz, blues, they all have their structures. But free improvisation is just that, it's free. And it can be people with any difference or being unnormal, anybody can do it.
My principal interest with regard to live music, certainly at present, is from my experience in business and looking at the way in which teams and leaders working with teams will sort of influence them in an improvisational way. They might not admit it, that they work improvisationally. They're all into planning and all the other bits and pieces, but there's an awful lot of influence of this sort of patterning that can have an awful lot to do with teams being healthier, their well-being, and even more productive and, dare I say it, profitable.
So I think live music will give you some really exciting new ways of communicating. You'll leave with different ears, I think, and you'll be able to hear things and experience just like life in a much fuller way than I think you would otherwise.
I guess what I've taken away from this has been quite interesting because I realise I'm a very structured person, I'm a very busy person, so everything has to be ordered and I'm not used to just letting things flow. So it's good for me. I'm sure I'm going to sleep better tonight, so we'll see. Hopefully it's therapy, yeah.
Just very much hope that we're going to be able to gradually build up an understanding of what the potential is for this kind of work.